So I watched this today at the gym, and I got AMC Plus. I think it was around Christmas time or something, because they had an offer for it was $20 for the whole year. So I thought, what the hell, $20 for the whole year? So they had Better Call Saul on there and stuff. Anyways, this movie popped up that I saw here called Duel, and it's the gal from Guardians of the Galaxy that plays Nebula, and she was on Doctor Who as Amy Pond. Uh, Karen Gillian here, or Gillen, and how do I describe this movie? Okay, so there's spoilers, but here's the thing: this movie, it's an okay movie, but they blow the ending, and I am going to discuss spoilers on here because it is they really blew the ending. That's all I can say, man. The ending is just I'll get to it when I go through it. So she plays this gal who gets diagnosed with some unknown terminal illness thing or disease or something, and they're like, you're gonna die like in 6 months or something, and you need to make your will and make peace and all this. So she sees that well, the doctor tells her about it. There's this program, this cloning program, where they will clone you. They make a clone of you, so that when you die, your clone just takes over your life. Now, this idea, um, it's basically that Schwarzenegger movie where they were cloning themselves or whatever. They weren't uploading or whatever. They just kept making new bodies and so on or whatever. It's the same thing as that. So she decides to go and do this, like make a clone of herself as a gift to her mother, and she didn't want her mother to know that she was dying and all this. So she's training the clone how to be like her and what her boyfriend likes and doesn't like and all of this, and she goes through this whole thing of training her and all this, and she's gonna. Then they cut to like a year later or something. Well, not a year, but I think it's like I forget what it says on there. I think it was 5 months or something. It was close to when she was supposed to die, and they show her clone just pretty much has taken over her whole life, and her and the husband are going to dinner dates and doing all this stuff, and just she's like really bitter and that she's gonna die and all this, and then she goes for some checkup at the doctor. I don't know why she was doing this. Why you would go get a checkup if you're dying? If you're dying, that's the last thing you want to be doing. So she goes in there, and they tell her that this unknown disease or whatever is in remission and that she's going to live. So she's all pissed off because she had to like take out this huge loan, and she was expecting the clone to pay for it after she died and all this. So then she gets really freaking angry about the clone taking over her life and all this. And the clone goes and tells her mother and all this, and then she busts in the house and she's like, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to be talking to my mother. We agreed about this until I died and all this." And then she breaks the news that she's not dying now. So the clone, the original lady, tells the clone that I'm going to have you killed because I'm not dying now, so there's no need for you to exist and take over my life and all this. So the clone goes and files some legal action thing about some amendment or something to the Constitution or some crap that she she has the right to live. And then from this point on, this is where it gets stupid. It turns into like Hunger Games or something. It's just so the law is there can't you can only have a clone if you're dying and it's going to replace you. You can't just have a clone of you just because you want one, just for the hell of it. So the law is that she has to go and do this ceremony thing with the clone where they're in a fight to the death, and only one of them can live. This is the apparent law in the future. Okay, so that's how stupid this is. So she spends the next like middle of the movie towards the end training with the guy in the picture here from Breaking Bad. He's like this Specs Ops commando guy or something that's training her how to kill effectively and all this, and she's just learning how to use knives and guns and weapons and all of this stuff, and she goes through this long training process, and then she catches the spy, not the spy, the clone spying on her, and then she tries to kill her then, and the clone runs out, so she starts chasing the clone down, trying to kill it before the thing is that before they're supposed to go to this legal Hunger Games thing to fight each other, and she chases her down to some kids park, and the clone is hiding in some little dollhouse. So she goes in there, and her and the clone start having this talk, and she's like, I don't want to kill you, but I have to kill you because it's the law and all this crap. And she says, oh, we could just go to Canada or get out of here and all this. And she's like, no, I want my life back, so you can go to Canada and I'll stay here. And she's like, no, why don't you go to Canada and I'll stay? So they keep doing this back and forth about you go to Canada, and it's like, how do you have a movie with two super hot chicks like this? I mean, Karen Gillan is, this is a gorgeous woman, let me tell you, man. And she looks really good in this, too, so she is there. So her and the clone agree that they don't want to leave, and that they come to terms that they're both going to fight to the death for her husband. So they decide to go out in this forest to have it out, and just one of them's gonna die. So she picks the clone up, and they go out in the forest, and before they start going out in the forest, they're like unloading the car and all this, and she's the clone is like, do you have water? Do you have this and this and that? And she's like, oh, I have everything, but I forgot my water. Can I have one of yours? And she's like, sure, here's this, you can have this water. And she's like, they're like going through each other's bags and making sure they don't have like guns or more weapons or whatever they agreed to. So they both agreed to it. So they start walking through the forest, and the original gal is going, I thought I was gonna die, and this is why I made you, and I'm sorry that this happened to you, and I was supposed to be dead, and you were supposed to take over, but whatever I had went into remission and all this. And then the original gal, she starts bleeding from her nose or something, and like coughing, and she realizes the clone poisoned her with the water, and then she dies. And then the clone couldn't drive the car to get out of there, and it crashed the car, and she like fucked herself up really badly and all this, but she made it back on time to go to the Hunger Games fight. So she shows up, and then she tells them that she's the original, And then she's like, okay, well, where's your clone? And she's like, oh, I don't know. She's not here yet and all this. And she was hoping like she was going to win by default or something. And then they cut to this court case because they show the police like trying to figure out if she killed the clone ahead of time or it got murdered or what happened. And they don't show what happened with the investigation or anything. They just bring her in and they're like, oh, when was the last time you saw your clone and all this. And so anyways, they have a court case at the end, and the clone bullshits the judge and the family and everybody that she's the real one. And the ending is she's driving in their car that's fucked up because she rolled it. I don't know what happened to that car, but she can't drive the car because she's a clone and she don't know how to do anything. She's like a retard. So she's trying to drive this car, and she's like getting texts from the mother, and the husband is texting her, and these other people that were the original girl's friend are texting her, and it's so stupid, the ending. It's just complete fucking garbage. It's the worst ending. It was so anticlimactic. I was like, wow, these chicks are going to fight it to the death and all this. No. She just gets poisoned and dies, and then the car breaks down on some road or something, and she's just in the car screaming. And then it cuts to where the original gal is buried. And that's the end of the movie. They just show her dirt mound. I've never seen a movie so stupid and waste so much time on a huge build up to nothing. And I don't understand is why would you have to kill your clone? Like, I don't get this whole thing about, oh, we have to go. But I mean, what kind of a law is that the government makes you fight your clone in a Hunger Games type thing to the death? I mean, it was just stupid. I just a huge build up to nothing. What a waste of a movie. It's a shame because she's a decent actress. I liked her on Doctor Who as Amy Pond. She's okay as Nebula. Oh, she was in that Bubble movie. That Bubble movie was hilarious. But I'll tell you one thing. If you see this movie, don't get too excited because the end, you're just going to be like, wow, like I can't believe this is the ending. It was so stupid. Anyways, thanks for watching. Another box office smash here.